What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be going over these cards, and I'm going to be talking about what is going to be the best starter card in NBA 2K22 Myteam. So lads, anyone who's saying, oh, starter cards, they're not going to be worth anything, I'm telling you they are. Because if you guys didn't see from the dev blog, the base cards, some of them are going to be emeralds, obviously. So not some of them are going to be emeralds, some of them are going to be rubies. But if you guys look right here, I'm just going to see if I can get all these like pictures up, any ones. Like, they're not all high overall. So you can see Sapphire Vince Carter. There's one where, I think in the trailer, is it a screenshot here or is it just in the trailer? I think it might be just in the trailer. But like you can see right here, Scotty's an emerald. I know Marc Gasol's a ruby, but like there's most guys are sapphires. All the current NBA players, like Giannis is a sapphire, stuff like that. So getting, like these guys are going to be quite a bit better than the normal versions. Like Zion's like if Ja Morant's an emerald, if Booker's an emerald, like if Devin Booker is an 81 overall and Kobe's an 81 and Yao is a 71 overall. Oh, they got Danny Ferry there. Then these guys at 89 or 88 or 89 overall are going to be insanely good. They're going to be insanely good. Like Jokic is going to be one of the better big men centers in the game. And Trae Young's probably going to play out, maybe not outplay, but he's not going to be that much different than like a Sapphire Steph Curry. Or a probable emerald. If Trae, again, if CP3 is an 81, he's probably an emerald. If Simmons is an 81, well, Trae Young's probably better than Simmons, but he's probably an emerald if Booker is. So we have to look at it that way. So I'm going to be talking about all 5 of these guys, and I actually think they're going to be, you might want to get all of them. And one huge thing is that you're not only limited to one. If you guys saw from the blog, again, stuff that you probably can't see from this, community logos, where's the starters? So choose to start with whatever. It tells you about the players, or power through with Zion. Pick his year's brand new option packs. First time ever, you can earn all 5 of these cards to assemble an All-Star Worthy Live. After evoing the starter player, you're unlocking a new lifetime agenda, which will let you open your second option pack as a 3rd, 4th, 5th. So literally, once you evo one of these, you can actually get all of them, which is huge. So this is not necessarily which starter cards you should pick, because there's not only a one choice anywhere. This is the order I personally believe you guys should pick them in. So the first 2 I would get, because there are a few of these guys that I wouldn't be like dead set on them being good cards. So we got to think of evos, and we got to think of how they're going to play in game. So the 2 cards I believe that are going to be the best are Jokic and Trae Young. I would personally go with Jokic first, because Jokic is going to be that shooting center. Jokic is probably going to have like a 78, 79 3-ball, which at the start of the game, considering how low the overalls are on these big men, being able to shoot as a big man is going to be, it's going to be absolutely incredible. Especially because we're not going to have to worry about center Giannis. You can see hardly any dual positions on these starter cards. If we're not worrying about center Giannis, then slow centers don't really matter too much. That was the big problem last year, was that you really needed clamps in case you on a center, because if you can't get center Giannis, you were screwed. There's highly unlikely going to be a center Giannis this year, which is big. So Jokic is pretty good. But for me, the first one I'm going to go for is Trae Young. Mainly because I think Trae Young is going to be the easiest one to evo up. Like, those should be your first 2 choices, Trae Young and Jokic, no matter what. But with Trae Young, you've got shooting. Like, you're probably getting, not only are you getting at least silver range extender, and there are now 2 range extender badges. There are now 2 limitless range badges. There's a catch and shoot limitless range and an off the dribble limitless range. I reckon the off the dribble limitless range is going to be super rare at the start of my team, and Trae Young is almost certainly going to have it. So I think he's going to be one of the few players that you can pull from deep with. And you mightn't think that's huge, but that's going to help you so much playing offline. It's going to help you so much playing offline. Like, the ability to hit deep off the dribble is huge. playing against the CPU. So I think Trae Young is going to be a huge help for that. And especially when the game starts out, most people do play offline games. And in offline games, using someone like a Jokic isn't great because you really want those just big rebounding defensive centers that catch lobs when you're playing offline. Especially if you're playing domination grinding for points. And Trae Young is going to be a really, really good point guard for that reason. He's also going to be somewhat quick. He's going to be a good shooter. And especially if Steph Curry turns out to be a sapphire card and maybe not as good as this Trae Young, we might be looking at like the best, this year's equivalent of Amethyst Stephen Curry in Ruby Trae Young. That could be like this year's equivalent of that card. Is he going to be good on defense? Hell no. But at the start of every year, people don't realize not every card can do everything. So you're just going to have to switch some matchups, play defensive players at 2 and 3, and then build your team around Trae Young, especially if you're a 3 hunter. So I actually see him being a very useful starter card. Second, obviously Jokic. He's a 3-point center. He's going to work in pick and pops, and he's going to chill in the corner. Like, that is what he is there for. Is he going to be a good defender even at Ruby? No. Is he going to be a good inside player? I don't think they're going to do anything with post game, so I doubt it. He is going to be that shooting center, and I'm not sure there are going to be too many better shooting centers than Jokic early on in the game. As the game goes on, he's going to be not worth anything, but I don't see him being the greatest. Okay, so that is for me the first two options that I think are no-brainers. So Trae Young first, especially because I think Trae Young is going to be easier to evo as well, because I think he's going to have the first evo for all these guys the last 2 years has been score 6 points. And then there's been no evo, as far as I'm aware, that has involved steals. Scoring 150 points with Trae Young is going to be super quick. Like, you will be able to do that quicker than any player because, again, you're counting in threes with Trae Young. You can score 150 points with him. What's that? 7 games triple threat in. Like, you can probably evo of all these guys in an hour, honestly. And I do think you're not going to be seeing starting fives of these guys. Zion's a 6'6" power forward, but you're going to be seeing a good few of these guys being ran. So, Trae Young, definitely. Jokic, number 2. Number 3, I'm going to say I think Jayson Tatum is a good shout because he has potential. So Tatum's not going to get the shooting badges, or he's not going to get the range badges. Tatum's not going to be pulling up from range. Like, there's a near 0% chance of Jayson Tatum pulling up from 40 feet out, hitting 3-pointers. The only card that's going to get range in this set is going to be Trae Young. Not Mitchell won't get it either. But what Tatum's going to be is that jack of all trades player. I can see him getting clamps when he goes to his final evo. I can see him being a moderately good dribbler, a 80 or so rated 3-point shooter, and he's just going to have like probably a 75 to 80 rated dunk. I can see him kind of being like a better version of what Sapphire Tatum was at the start of this year. If you guys don't remember, Sapphire Tatum was legit. He was legitimately decent. No joke. If you were running Sapphire, I ran Sapphire Tatum quite a lot at the start of the year. He was good, and I think we're gonna get that type of equivalent, just a little bit better for this Jayson Tatum. He's gonna have a bit of an awkward release, but I think overall he's gonna be a really, really solid card. I think Tatum at that small forward position, he's 6'8", he's gonna have good length, he's gonna be at least a mediocre defender, he's gonna be at least average speed wise, he's gonna be at least an average shooter. He's gonna be your jack of all trades type player. And again, they're free. Like, realistically, it's gonna take an hour to evo these guys. Within 2 hours, you can have 3 of these guys. You can have Tatum as well, which is gonna be huge. Then Zion Williamson or Jayson Tatum, or Zion Tatum or Donovan Mitchell for the 4th pick. So you've got a 6'1" guard versus a 6'6" power forward, and I think Zion, he's not gonna be able to shoot. But if I'm thinking back last year to Zion Williamson's Sapphire card, the pre-order card, he wasn't terrible. He was not terrible. The guy couldn't shoot to save his life. But I mean, he still got a bunch of rebounds, and Zion has that type of player build where he just gets the animations, especially early on in the year. He's just going to bully people for rebounds. He's hard to get around. He'll play good defense purely because of his player build that's twice as wide as everybody else. Zion is always a really, really good player build-wise. I don't see him being much. I actually think an 89 overall, Zion's going to have like a 73 ball. And at the start of the game, that's going to be serviceable. It's going to be enough to hit shots with. And his release is going to be horrific, but yeah, I don't see Zion being up to too much, to be completely honest, with the Evo. but I still think he's going to be better than Donovan Mitchell. The one player I would advise you to wait till the end, if get at all. Like, for me, I'm probably going to... Like, because I'm going to want to probably Evo up Trae Young, Jokic, and Tatum. Because especially on my nobody spent account. I'm going to definitely want to Evo up those guys. Because those guys, I think those three are going to be solid players for my nobody spent. Like, last year, on my nobody spent account, I used starter. I stupidly picked starter Wade. That was just me being dumb. But, like, from NBA 2K19, I used starter D-Rose for the longest time. I used him till, like, the middle of October. So I still think I'm going to end up using starter Trae Young for... I'm just going to use probably those three starters for a little bit of time. But Donovan Mitchell, I can't see him being up to much. Base 4 he's had the last 2 years, which is a bad release when it's on slow. Or when it's on normal timing. He's very undersized for a 2-guard. Height's always going to matter. As much as 2K wants to say their height doesn't really matter, height's always going to matter. The only way I can see Donovan Mitchell being good is if they go and give him, like... I'm pretty sure they might do it like in 2K19 or 2K20, where they got a couple of Hoff badges, the Evo cards. And if they go and give him like Hoff quick first step, or even goal quick first step, then it's a different story. Like if they give him goal quick first step at 97 dunk, Hoff posterizer, and like an 80-something 3-ball, he's good, but you have to make kind of changes for him. Like if you're playing him at the shooting guard, you gotta have a tall point guard. And I assume like Simmons is a primary power forward and can't play point guard. Like you gotta have a tall point guard beside him. But I think Mitchell's probably gonna be the worst of these. Or he could, like, he's either gonna be the worst or the best. There's no in between. If they don't juice up Mitchell, he's a 6'1" guy that can't play the point guard. If they juice up Mitchell and give him like goal quick first step and 90-something dunk, goal or Hoff posterizer, some dribble sigs, he could be the best. So I'm pretty confident that these guys are going to be the two that are going to have the most use. I think Tatum's going to be a solid player. I think Zion's not going to be great because it's quite an important height to have a power forward position. And then Donovan Mitchell has the most variance. Like, I think he's going to be the worst, but if he's the best, it would not surprise me. So these 5 guys, in terms of like animations and usefulness in game, I actually think they could all be all right. Especially, again, as he said it right here. Like, yeah, there are a whole bunch of diamond and pink diamond reward cards. Sure, there are so many of them. But let's be real. We're also mostly going to be sapphires or below. The fact that you can get 5 completely free ruby cards is huge. 5 completely free ruby cards to start out your team is big. And like, I actually think collecting all 5 of these might be a good idea. Like, I genuinely think it all depends on what domination is, but I genuinely think it might be a good idea collecting all 5 of these starting next year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the first of the tip videos this year. Honestly, today is the start of like me bigging up my team and me giving some tips, helping you guys prep for this game as good as possible. As we've got the game's coming out next Thursday, so we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I got 6 more days of content left. And you better believe, if you're watching this channel, you are going to be best equipped to start your Myteam, especially if you're not looking to spend any money. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.